to come in, Bear. The world caught a cold. You won't get its germs if you just stay at home. It isn't forever, Bear, just for a time. There's still fun to have here with me while inside. We'll climb pillow mountains, build towers sky high. I'll show you a dance. You can teach me to fly. We'll paint with our paws, Bear, tell stories, read books. We'll eat lots of pizza. Can you help me cook? Do you know a joke, Bear? The world is still funny. Knock, knock. Who's there, Bear? It's me and a bunny. No visits with Grandpa. Grand's dinner can wait. A phone call's a great call to keep them both safe. No playdates with friends, Bear. You miss them, I know. The next time we see them, we'll make sure it shows. While we stay inside, Bear, the heroes still fight to clean up the germs and make the world all right. So sleep tight tonight, Bear. Tomorrow, we'll see. And no matter what happens, together we'll be.
Lockdown, the most familiar word for us in this present scenario. And we know that it's an urgent requirement to prevent people from the threat of COVID-19. But being isolated and stagnant for an extended period of time is not good for our health. Because the longer the limitations and restrictions on our lives, the more the people will become sad, emotionally numb, and so on. Do you know what's the reason? Because we living beings are meant to be active. This is the apt time to think about the animals which have been kept in the zoo for prolonged years. Hello children, I'm Needu, your English teacher, and today we are going to study a poem named A Tiger in the Zoo. This poem contrasts a tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. A contrast in the mood and the environment of a tiger when he is in the zoo and a tiger when he is in the forest is clearly portrayed by the poet in this poem. Now we can go through the poem in detail. This is the first stanza. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. The poet says, the tiger is confined or caught in the zoo. He stalks. Stalks means walks or follows. Here it means walks. Okay. He walks in his vivid stripes. Vivid means bright colored, different colored stripes. What are stripes? You might have seen that long narrow bands of black color on the yellow background. Okay, the skin of the tiger has been mentioned here as vivid stripes. So what does the poet say? The poet says that the tiger which is confined in the zoo moves around in the cage or walks around in the cage under his bright colored skin. Now look at the next line. The few steps of his cage the few steps of his cage. Why it said so? The tiger can only take a few steps inside the cage because the cage is very small, isn't it? Then on pads of velvet quiet. We cannot hear the footsteps of the tiger. What's the reason? Because of its soft feet, velvet-like feet of the tiger. Okay, no sounds of tiger's footsteps can be heard. So the tiger is walking inside the cage. But what's the feeling of the tiger? It's given in the last line. In his quiet rage. Rage means anger. The tiger is trying to control his anger. And he's walking here and there. Okay. Because what's the reason why he's angry? He is not free. He can't come out of the cage. That's why he's too angry. He angrily walks inside that cage. That's the meaning of the first stanza. I'll read it once again. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. What does the poet say about the tiger? The tiger which is being caught inside the cage, is walking here and there with anger. Okay, how the tiger is? The tiger has vivid stripes on his body, and the walking, the steps of the tiger is very soft, so that it can't be heard out. But the tiger is so angry as it is being caught inside the cage. That's the first stanza. Now we can move to the second stanza. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the waterhole where plump deer pass. Now we can look at the meaning of the new words. Lurking means to be hidden. Okay, lying hidden in order to attack the prey. You might have heard, you might have seen the cat which is lurking in the grass to attack some creatures or some other animals which are lurking. Here, lurking means to be hidden, waiting for its prey. And now, in this stanza, the poet says, if the tiger was free, he would have hid himself behind long grass near the water bodies, so that he could easily catch a deer in order to have it as its food. In order to catch a deer, the tiger may be hiding somewhere in the long grass, if it's there in the forest, if it's free in the forest. Okay, he should be lurking in shadow. Really, the tiger should be hiding somewhere. Okay, in order to catch the prey. What's the prey mentioned here? The plump deer. Okay, so basically the poet wants to say that the actual life of a tiger is to live in jungle where he could catch his prey and eat it, but the tiger is in the cage and cannot do anything. Okay, so once again the lines. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding means moving very slowly. The jackal, usually jackal sliding through the grass in order to search food. Okay, so sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Plump means fat. Plump body of the deer attracts the tiger very easily. So here the poet says, if the tiger was free, he might have hidden himself behind the long grass near the water bodies, so that it can catch the deer in order to have it as its food. But now it cannot do anything. We are moving to the next stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring its white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. So in the second stanza we said about the tiger when it is in the jungle. Okay, the third stanza also we are saying the same thing. If it's free, what the tiger might have been done? The poet says that if the tiger would have been free, he would have snarled around. Snarling means warning sounds made by the animals. Okay, he would have snarled around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest. You might have heard about such kind of news from newspapers and all. Tigers coming out to the residential areas and frightening people, sometimes even killing people. Okay, so that's the nature of tiger. It's been mentioned here too. The poet says that he should be snarling around the houses at the jungle's edge. Should be making warning sounds. Okay, baring his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. Not about killing the people, the poet says. It may be coming to the residential areas and making the people frightened. Okay, terrorizing the people, frightening the people. The poet says, if the tiger would have been free, he would have snarled around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest, at the edge of the forest, and baring his white fangs. Baring means showing, revealing his white fang. What's the meaning of fangs? Long, sharp teeth. The tiger has terrifying fangs. We know that. By showing its fangs, its claws, to terrorize the village, to create fear among the people living in the villages. So once again, if the tiger was free, it might have snarled around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest, and it would be terrorizing the people by showing its sharp tooth, claws and all. Okay, now we can move to the next stanza. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Now the poet says about the tiger which is there in the zoo. Now what's the condition of the tiger? The tiger is being locked in the concrete cell, concrete wall. His strength is being locked behind the bars. We should say like that. The strength of the tiger is being locked, stalking the length of his cage. And now only what's the thing the tiger does is just walking here and there. It's just moving inside that cage. Its complete strength is being barred. Its strength is being locked inside the cage. And what the tiger does? Ignoring visitors. The tiger is never minding any of the visitors who come there. Now we are moving to the last stanza of the poem. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with its brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. It's night time. The tiger hears the sounds of the patrolling cars. Patrolling cars means the vehicles of police which are used to guard the zoo at night. Okay. So in the night, the tiger hears the sounds of these cars, but he doesn't respond. He just stares at the shining stars with his shining eyes. Look at the lines, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. He then stares at the shining stars with his shining eyes. The poet wants to say that the tiger is so sad as he is confined in the cage. He cannot do anything. So what he does, he stares at the stars in the night and tries to divert his thoughts towards those bright stars. Okay. At night in the zoo, he hears the sounds of patrolling cars. The tiger in the zoo appears helpless. What's the reason? It became mere entertainment or a showpiece to people. Really, the poet wants to convey that it is very cruel to keep wild animals in small enclosures of the zoo away from its natural habitat. They feel angry, helpless, and unhappy in the cage. We noticed the tiger pays no attention to the visitors who came to watch him, isn't it? So, in the silence of the night, he stares at the brilliant stars with his bright eyes. A very fearful animal, tiger, is being described as being powerless and agonized. What's the reason? The cage life has totally changed its personality. Really, the poet has tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings for their own pleasure, for their own fun. Really, that's a theme of the poem. And if you have any doubts anywhere, you should contact me. Please read the complete poem. Take a textbook and read the complete poem. And if you have any doubts, feel free to contact me. Okay, that's all. Thank you.